Hey Bikeaholics, Ryan Urlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. Thanks for checking in. You're probably here because you want to install a Harley Davidson brand Stage 1 air intake on your Harley Davidson motorcycle. You definitely come to the right place. I'm going to show you how to get that installed along with some other very useful information. Okay, real quick guys, just right before we get into installing this, there's some things you need to know. There's different companies that make different Stage 1 air intakes for Harley Davidson motorcycles. We have done other videos. Head over, we did recently, I can think we did a Vance and Hines naked VO2 air intake. It's a Stage 1. Search our website, lawabidingbiker.com. There's a search bar on every web page. Upper right-hand corner, you can search for air intakes, Stage 1s, things like that. Also search this very YouTube channel. It'll pop up with any videos we've done. We're going to continue to do the different Stage 1 air intake installs for you guys. But just know, they all do the same thing. It's just opening up and letting your bike breathe, the air intake. But they are different. They're manufactured a little bit different, and the installs can be a little bit different in depending on what you remove and what you don't remove. So you'll definitely want to refer to that specific air intake, and make sure you check our website and YouTube channel for those. This video specifically today, this is a Harley Davidson brand Stage 1 air intake. So that is specific to obviously a Harley Davidson motorcycle, to this very kit, the way we're going to install that. So just know that. Let's look at this kit real quick. If you're getting a Harley Davidson one, obviously you get your air filter, then you get your back plate. I'm going to set those aside for a minute, but that's your back plate right there. And then also in the box here, I'm just going to looks like we have some, these are your different spacers, looks like some crank. I've done enough of these kits. I'm recognizing the parts, some extenders and the holes where the crank breathers are, and some nuts and bolts and things like that. So make sure you have that. Then it looks like it comes with a little Screaming Eagle. If you want to replace this right here, you can put that Screaming Eagle one. So that's the contents of this kit. And again, that's the specific kit we're going to install today. So let's get to it. All right, first thing guys is we're just going to remove this piece right here. Not very high tech. It's actually just Velcroed on there. It's a little piece that says 103. Just be careful not to mar your chrome. I just kind of working it around with a screwdriver, and you'll hear it pop. There you go. Just got some Velcro. Then we're going to take our Allen here, and I'll tell you what size. It's a 5/16 Allen head, and I'm going to go right into backing this out. And this just secures this outside cover. All right, we got that out. Now this cover will lift off, exposing the air filter and all that. I'll set this aside. All right, guys, next there's a T27 Torx wrench. There's 3. One, I'm going to take that out. There's another one right down here. There's actually 3 of them. I'm just going to back these things all the way out. And the last one up here, of course. And that's what I'm doing, just going around and working these out. All right, I'm just getting the last one out here, guys. And this takes off the entire bracket. I've got these 3 bolts, of course. This bracket comes off, and then the actual air filter comes out. And there's just a hook. This is your crank breather on the back. There's just a rubber hose. Just pull it right off. This hose comes right out. It just actually goes right in that little hole there. So I'll set this stuff aside for now. All right, so what you have now is your crank breather. We'll just go through some of the nomenclature as we go through here. But these are your crank breather lines. There's actually bolts that come through the back side here, and they're actually hollow, the bolts. And it's basically, a lot of guys email us or are concerned, when you're doing your service, don't forget we have that awesome maintenance video that is saving guys a ton of money around the world, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/2014 Harley Maintenance. We show you how to do a complete oil change, routine service, safety inspection, everything. Telling you that video, guys are loving it. But we talk a little bit about that. So this is normal. We'll get emails. Guys will say, hey, I've took my air cleaner off. I've got oil in here. Well, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. Your crank breathers get hot as the oil will overspill a little bit, I should say. And these crank breathers will just blow that extra oil back. That's what it's made to do, right into your filter and into this system. So don't worry, you definitely want to clean it up and stuff if you're just doing a service, but we're actually getting rid of this for a Stage 1 install, so I'm not going to worry about it. But Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. So here you just pull these right off. It's just a rubber hose. And again, this is your crank breather blowback for any extra blowback. If you had a ton, if you overfill your engine with oil for some reason, you can get a lot of blowback. That would be more of a problem, but normal blowback, no big deal. Just clean it up each time you do a service or every other service when you do your filter. Those come right out like so. I'll set those aside for now. And then what we're left with is 2 bolts. These are your crank breather bolts. They're not only bolt this back plate in, but again, they're hollow and allow for that blowback. This is a deep well socket, a 7/16 inch. I need it deep well so I can get up in here and get these out. And that's what I'm going to work on. Got that one broke loose. There we go. And I'll back both of these out. All right, and of course, both crank breather bolts there. And that allows our back plate to come off. And I'll just set all this aside. Okay, now we've got our throttle body exposed. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's different kits. This Harley Davidson kit actually requires us to remove this bracket and basically get rid of it, set it aside. I'll tell you that the Vance & Hines VO2 naked air intake, stage 1, it gets left there. So again, make sure you know each kit is a little bit different. Basically, we're removing this because these little wings, I'll call them right here, obviously where it threads to are a spacer. And so that's going to cause it not to flush up right. So anyways, this does hold one of your wires back here. No big deal. We'll get to that. A couple schools of thought on this. Guys, this particular bracket, some guys, if you want to mod it, of course, that's not in the instructions, but I do know Cuz here at Law Abiding Biker Media took it off and you can cut it right there. And that way you still have this bracket here, but it's not causing this, your new stage 1 to be spaced basically. So you could take it off, slice it here, put it back on. If you were really careful, you could slice it. I wouldn't do it on the bike. That's just me. Yeah, with a cutting wheel or something, you could hit your tank. That's just a little tip trick in case it's something you want to do. I'm just getting rid of it. I really don't care. All the bikes that we've done before, we just get rid of it like the instructions tell you to. The problem is, it's not a problem. You got to remove the tank. Couple schools of thought on that too. You could, there are guys that make a specialty tool and it's basically behind here. There's a bolt that goes down here. You can see the channels right there and another one. You got to get into it at the top. Well, this is a 3/16 inch Allen wrench right here, guys. And so that way you know the size. You could try to get it up in there. It's really difficult. You're really not going to have enough play. You're going to get hung. And so you're going to get like, even if you can get a little turn on it, this is not the way to go. It'd be a pain in the ass to do that. But you could cut it with a cutting wheel. You could take an Allen wrench and cut it so that it's the right length. It's hard to get a socket in there and a ratchet. You probably won't be able to do that. But with this Allen wrench, you could slice it just so it sits right above here. And then it basically would be sticking down in there and you could just see the top of it. And you could put a ratchet little wrench on there. And that way you could get an open end ratchet wrench and try to get it out and all that kind of stuff. Just know there are tricks to doing that, but that's completely up to you. It's not hard to remove your tank, guys. It's only going to take me 5 minutes. So I'm just going to show you how to remove the tank and do it the easy way. I got fat fingers and I don't want to fumble around trying to start that bolt. Sometimes doing it the right way up front will actually save you time. So my suggestion is just get rid of your tank. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get started. All right, next we're going to get the fuel tank off. It's just a Torx 40. We're going to start with the 2 bolts on the back of the tank here. All right, and we're getting the last bolt out there. So those 2 bolts right there, that frees the back of the tank. Now we'll move up front. All right, next on both the front of your tank is just some plastic caps that go over these to kind of hide them. Again, one on each side of the front of your tank. Again, a Torx 40, same as the back. And we'll get both of those out. All right, that one's out. I'll move around to the other side and free that one. All right, and to lift the tank off, we need to free a couple things right here. And basically there's a stock OEM plug right here. It's push and pull. You just push down on the tab and pull. That releases that. Here's another vent line and you can pull that out there. All right, that frees that. And then we've got one more just vent line that stuffs down in there. So now you can see we've got everything clear so we're not hung up when we lift this tank off. All right, so we're up underneath the left side of the bike here. Harley made it really easy on these newer bikes to remove the fuel line. It will probably drip just a little bit. Trick to this is a sleeve right here. As you pull up with my left hand, same time I pull down with my right, and I disconnect the fuel line. And after that initial few drops of fuel, of course, it's made to seal off so you don't have to worry about it. Now we can lift this tank off here. All right, now everything's released. We got all our wires back here, or hoses I should say, and wires. We can go ahead and rock the tank up and get it out of our way. All right, guys, now that we've done it right, we got the tank removed, no big deal, 5 minutes. We got our 3/16 socket, Allen on a socket. Now, see how easy it is? I don't have to fight nothing. I can just get this bracket. And I probably actually save time than trying to fight doing it with that tank. So that's all I'm doing is I'm gonna remove both these and we'll get this bracket out of the way. All right, and just getting this bracket off and got my bolts there. And we'll set this aside. We will not need to reuse this right now. And if you have any wires hooked to it, it's kind of an organizer. You may have this, mine was actually slid off, but if it was slid on, it's kind of just an organizer like so. Just slide it off. Okay, and so this kit comes with a new organizer, again, because it replaces the other one, if you'll notice, because this was out here, and it actually went through here, so it's spacing that out there. So to get rid of that, they provided a plastic alternative right there, and it basically has the same organizers on it. So we'll go ahead and replace that. Funny thing is, I see a lot of bikes that come from people who've had dealerships do this, and the dealerships, I've seen it, they're just throwing these away. No big deal. These, and I just see these wires just floating back here. So that's interesting. The kit now comes with this organizer. So if you want those organized, you can. Might as well put it on since we took the fuel tank. And these just slide on like so. They've just got little channels in the plugs. And you can see even my old ones were not even on the organizer of the original bracket. But since we've got it, no big deal. I'll slide these on like so. And then of course we can take it and we're going to use the same bolts, the 3/16 Allen, and put them right down in here. Okay, and I'm just finishing up here, and obviously just barely crank these down. It's just a plastic bracket. You'll just snap it if you get it too tight. That's about all I'm going to give it. Good to go. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. If you want to make sure that content and these free videos keep coming your way, there is a way you can support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. The community is growing over there. We'd like to have you involved too. There's no risk over there. You can sign up for a certain level and pay a certain amount per piece of content with a cap. Absolutely no risk. There are some benefits over there. T-shirts and a private Facebook group and some premium content. All depends on what level you sign up as. But that is a way that you can assure the content keeps coming your way. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Of course, if you ever want to just leave a flat donation, we do accept that too and appreciate it. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Don't forget to check out that weekly podcast, guys. It's on fire. A ton of content we're putting out. Get involved over there. It's the Law Abiding Biker podcast. All right, let's get back into your video. All right, guys, next is a gasket. Comes with your kit. Just got the paper backing. I just pulled it off because this side's sticky. Pretty simple. Just get the holes lined up, press firmly, make sure it's on there. All right, guys, so I'm going to go a little out of order here, but that's just typical how it goes in a real life environment. This sticky stuff on here just doesn't want to stick to this throttle body, so I'm going to set it aside for a second, but I'm going to take this back plate, and you've got 3 back plate screws that come with your kit. And basically what I'm going to do, because this is going to end up going like this, guys, kind of like so, that gasket's going to be in between. Couple reasons I'm going to take these back plate screws, and all I'm doing, there's 3 of them, and I'm just getting them all started with my fingers. And I'm going to actually run them all the way through, all 3 of them here. All right, I'm going to flip this around to show you. And I'm going to run these until they're just coming through there. You'll see all of them. And the reason is I'm going to put some blue Loctite on these, because we will want some blue Loctite when they actually go into here. And so this is going to serve 2 purposes. So I can just take a little blue Loctite, stud lock, I don't care what you use, what brand. There we go. I got blue Loctite on all of them. A little more on this one here. There we go. Then what I can do is take that gasket and I can go ahead and remember sticky side went this way, so I'm gonna do sticky side in like that. That at least gets this somewhat lined up for me. And then I can put this up. But I'm gonna set this aside just for a second, and that's why I did that. I just wanted to show you that. We'll set this aside. Next, you've got the two big, basically crank breather bolts here, guys, and you'll notice that it's the ones that have a hole in it. You'll see the hole there. They're pretty large, and so what I'm going to do on these right now is take a gasket, or an O-ring, I should say, and that O-ring fits right down into there, guys. So make sure you press it down in like so. I'm going to do that to both of them. Work it right down into there so it seats real nice. Okay. And I may have to do a little more there. Okay, once you get those, guys, I'm going to take a little blue Loctite and run it along these threads. Okay, like so. Now we can bring our whole operation up here, and again I have the gasket and those started coming through. That's going to hold my gasket and make sure it's aligned. I can put this right up here, and then our crank breather bolts up. One more thing that I forgot. Before I do that, I'm going to put, trying to hold all this with one or two hands here. Two more O-rings go right up in here. Seat them right in there real good. Of course, your kit comes with all this. Then we can set this up here. Everything's lined up like so. And I'm just going to kind of get these fingers started right now. Got that one started. And I'll do the same with that one. All right, and then I'll just make sure these little O-rings are lined up here before we actually crank that down. All right, that makes sure everything's aligned now. All right, guys, real life. Again, these O-rings don't want to, I put them down in the channels behind those crank breather bolts, but they keep falling out, and you could actually get them in there wrong. And so all I've done is I've taken my 1/4 inch here, Allen, and as I'm kind of screwed it in, I'm just taking a little screwdriver and just working that gasket up in there just to make sure that it's getting in the channel and it's not like getting off and getting crushed the way it's not supposed to. You want to make sure it's in those channel behind those bolts. So that seemed to work pretty good. And there it is, and I'll just kind of move it up into the channel there. There we go. You'll be able to see it there. All right, and with a 5/32 Allen, we're just going to take all these back plate screws. Remember, they've got the gasket. We lined it. They've got the blue Loctite on them. We're going to actually tighten them up. Not tighten them up. We're just going to get them all, basically just start to get them tight here. We're kind of going to leave everything loose for now. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And I'll get it down right to about there. I'm not going to tighten it down yet. All right, again, these are all loose here. All right, your kit's going to come with 3 of these. These are your air cleaner mounting studs. And we're just going to, these looks like they have red thread lock on them already. So we're just going to get these all finger started. And they go right around like so. All right, we've got those 3 finger tight on here, your air cleaner mounting studs. We're going to take our 1/4 inch here. And now we can tighten down the breather studs, these 2 right here. And if you want to get a torque wrench out, they say 120 to 144 inch-pounds is what they're calling for. I'm comfortable. I've done enough of these. I'm just doing them. I'm going back and forth. I'm not just cranking one down. I'm getting that tight, and then this a little bit. There we go. Kind of back and forth so we get even pressure. I'm going to tighten it about another 1/4 turn. Again, these have blue Loctite on them. And that's all I'm going to do. I wouldn't over tighten those guys. Again, if you want to use a torque wrench, then feel free. All right, now with a 5/32 inch Allen head right here, we're going to go around these back plate, these 3 black back plate screws. And if you want to get a torque wrench, they're calling for 55 to 60 inch-pounds on each one. And I'm just going to go around the same way. Don't just crank one down. Get them all kind of started and tight like so. Kind of go around. And then again, I'm comfortable with it. I've done enough, but 55 to 60 inch-pounds. Don't over tighten them and strip them, guys. That's about all I'm going to give them. They do have blue Loctite on them. All right, I'm going to switch my Allen out here. Don't need it. And I've got a socket, and it is a 1/2 inch socket. And we're going to tighten these right here. And again, I'm just kind of going to get them, they're finger tight, go around. There we go. When they're calling, if you do want to use a torque wrench, we encourage you to do that. If you're not comfortable, I am comfortable, but 55 to 60 inch-pounds is what this kit's calling for. So I'm just going to go around, and these do have that thread lock on them. They came that way, so red thread lock. And there we go. Now, the breather bolts are tight, the 3 backplate bolts, and then the air filter element studs right here are all tightened down. All right, guys, next is your air filter element. These are dry. All the newer Harleys, guys, they went away from the oil bath type filters. These are dry filters, just like the stock one. The stock one you clean with soap and water, warm water, you rinse it out. Same with these. So don't apply oil, guys, please. Read your directions depending on which kit you got. That may vary, but older bikes may be the oil bath, but all these newer ones are dry. You'll see a rubber insert in there. Take that out. That's just where they stored it. You're not actually, this will go on the outside in a moment. Set that aside. Take and you're lining it up, basically the 3 holes here with the filter studs there. Okay, I got it lined up. It looks like this goes right across the top. Duh. Makes sense, but I've already got blue Loctite on these, and I'll get these all finger started. All right, my socket here that I'm using is a 3/8, and I'll start getting these. Again, I'm just getting them started. I'll kind of go around as to apply even pressure as I'm tightening everything down, just like we did on everything else. And again, if you guys want to get a torque wrench out, we encourage you to do that if that's the way you're comfortable. I've done enough of these. It's 55 to 60 inch-pounds on this particular kit that they're asking for, and I'm just going around and tightening everything down. And I'm tight and about another 1/4 turn, like so. Don't over tighten them. Don't strip stuff out, guys. It's not going to come off. And there we go. All right, guys, and then you have this rubber piece that was kind of stored inside there. One thing I want to mention is, you guys remember we took those crank breathers, those rubber lines off? We didn't reuse those, so just if you didn't understand, these crank breather bolts have holes in them. Then there's a channel in here, and so any crank oil can go back through. There's a channel, and it goes and it blows right back into the inside of this filter. So if you get blowback, it's going to be inside there. So that's kind of how they remedied that instead of having to use those rubber lines. This, you can see on the back, 2 little holes there. Those are basically to line up with this. And so you just kind of got to manipulate this. You'll feel, you kind of just pinch it up. There's a lip in here. You'll kind of feel it once you get everything into place. You'll feel the heads of those kind of go into the rubber, like so. Get that all up in there, then it'll hold, and then you've got this little spacer came with it. It fits right in like so. And then our cover is going to go over that. All right, so I'm going to use my stock cover. One thing, you see this rubber around here? Not going to need that anymore. And if you put it on with that, you could. It's probably eventually, it's not really on there very well, and it's going to start flapping and it'll fall off and stuff. So I am just going to get rid of it. I do not need it. Then, of course, you can take a rag and clean up your filter. You're kind of going to have a line around there where the rubber piece was. You could take a little cleaner. That's what I'm going to do now and just kind of clean that up before I put it back on. All right, now we have everything done here, ready to go to put our the regular air cleaner back on, guys. That's the one I'm going to use, the regular cover. And essentially all you've done at the stage 1 is you've taken the back plate. I wish it was more technical than that, but you've just removed the back plate, better filter. You've opened this up so the bike can really breathe. Again, we've got this all adjusted right. We're just going to take our cover, put it back on. It comes with a bolt. It's got some blue Loctite on it already. I'm going to get that started. And if you're a torque wrench kind of guy, well, no problem. I've done enough of these. I'm comfortable. But they are calling for 36 to 60 inch-pounds if you choose to use that. I'm going to get this all put on here. All right, good. Now, the only other thing, guys, is It came with the Screaming Eagle plate if you wanted to put the Screaming Eagle plate back over. Just know you could just take this Velcro piece off, and it was actually stuck on here. And if you needed to reuse that, you could take this off with some alcohol, peel it off, put a fresh piece on, stick that on. That's all up to you, or you could just get rid of this and just pop this new one on. I don't like that one. I'm actually going to use my stock 103. It's already got the Velcro on it. And just get that all in line. You'll hear it kind of snap back and Velcro into place. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and get our fuel tank back on, and then I will talk to you about remapping your electronic fuel injection. Okay, and back up with the fuel tank there. Just work it all up there, and we'll have to do some fine adjustments here in a sec. There we go, that's generally in place. And of course, both sides, front of the tank, the Torx 40 bolt. You kind of have to lift your tank around to get that hole lined up just right. And I'm not going to completely tighten. I'm going to go around and get both of them hand started, and then I'll come around and crank both of them down. All right, now I can go ahead and crank these Torx 40s down. Just snogging about another quarter turn's fine, guys. About like so. And don't forget your rubber cap that goes over the top of those. And don't forget, we had the vent line that goes down this side. You'll kind of have to route that down how it was down here. Just a fuel vent line. Of course, we had this one. Don't forget to hook that back up. And then we had the one stock plug, like so. Now that stuff's all hooked back up. And of course, our Torx 40s, 2 of them on the back of the tank we took out here. Get both those started, and then I'll snug them down. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Bike's back together. We got our stage 1 installed. Yes, if you change your air intake to a stage 1, you're going to have your electronic fuel injection remapped. There's a couple ways to do that. First of all, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you're not, you are really missing out. We have a ton of videos in the works for you guys, free videos just like this one. By seeing those subscribers, it encourages us to keep putting out videos like this. Also, don't forget to get signed up for the free email club. That's lawabidingbiker.com/email club. We'll shoot you an email when we come out with a new free video such as this and other helpful information, guys. Don't forget to listen to the weekly podcast. It's a Law Abiding Biker podcast. It's on fire, guys, heard worldwide. All right, so remapping. We generally tell people, you could go to Harley Davidson at this point and get a stock canned map. Basically, for your pipes and your intake, they'll put a canned map in there. Maybe at the time of this video, like probably about $250 to $300. You're done. It's a canned map. It's gonna run fine. It's not gonna be optimal, but it's gonna run fine. It's gonna run good. Bad thing about doing that, guys, is then if you ever change your pipes or decide to do a different intake or anything to your bike, even higher end stuff to your motor, you have to go back to Hardy every time and pay them another $300 for that simple download. So we suggest the one I'm using right here is actually, let me get to it here, is my EFI tuner of choice. It's called the Vance & Hines Fuel Pack 3, guys. There it is. And it's wireless and it hooks right up to my bike. Of course, I've installed that on my bike before. And then I can tune and map. And I can do more than just a canned map. I can actually do auto-tune sessions, which I already had a auto-tune on this, but now that I've opened it up even more, I'll go out and run some additional auto-tune sessions on the Fuel Pack 3. If you want to get that free Fuel Pack 3 review and install video, very, very popular, lawabidingbiker.com/Fuel Pack, PAK, and the number 3. It's all over on our website, on our YouTube channel. Of course, you can find it. We also have you could use an auto or a Power Commander 5. That would be fine, just standalone. Again, can map. And then you could add the auto tuner to that too. You can head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Power Commander and the number 5. And then you can go to lawabidingbiker.com/auto tuner. And that'll give you the Power Commander 5 with the auto tuner. That's a great option. And then we have our very popular video, the DynoJet Power Vision 3 with the screen that goes up on your handlebars. That's at lawabidingbiker.com/Power Vision. At the end of this video and the links before, I'll link to all the videos I just talked about, guys. But we suggest that. They cost you about the same, maybe a little bit more on some of them. But in the future, as you just saw, I changed something. It's as simple as that for me with the Fuel Pack 3 is just go in, hit my phone, hit the Fuel Pack 3, fire it up, and start running another auto-tune session. And it's better than just a can map. And the nice thing about the Power Vision and the Fuel Pack 3 from Vance and Hines, and of course the Power Vision from DynoJet, is you can do much more than that. If you want to get advanced, you can actually manually enter values and you can get super advanced, but it can be as easy as what I'm going to do, which is just put a can map and then I'm going to auto tune on top of that can map just to get optimal performance basically, and efficiency and stuff like that, guys. So definitely something you'll need to do, and we've got all the resources for you. Head over to the website, lawabidingbiker.com, start searching, search our YouTube channel. We've got everything there for you guys. All right, peace out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Get out there and get some riding in, huh? All right, and okay, magnet tool. Aha! Thank God for magnet tools.